station.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Voltas Express Railway Station, Netaji Bhavan. कृपया ध्यान दें.
Well, in a match that the Knight Riders definitely needed to win, it's Chennai who have got 2 points. They haven't done that too much. The chase, well, they took it down till the end. They made it exciting, but you'd have to say it looks a little close on the scoreboard than it actually was. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Kolkata chose to bat first after winning the toss and only got 179, which at the halfway mark, with the pitch turning a bit, everybody was of the opinion that it may just be enough. But Chennai, despite losing 5 wickets in the power play, they lost 5 wickets in the power play, have managed to get there with just 2 wickets in hand, with just a few deliveries to spare. But the fact is they've got those 2 points and they've pretty much put to bed the chances of the defending champions to qualify in the 25 season. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me, Adam Gilchrist and Bullseye Bhogle. That's what we're calling him today.
That 179 was good enough only for Bullseye not to win a game.
True. I was telling you guys it's too little.
But
you both just did not have faith in Chennai's chasing ability. Fair enough.
But look at, if you're 60 for 5, if you've got an opposition 60 for 5, you've made 179, you've got to win from there.
Yeah.
Look what happened in the previous game. In the previous game, they were 206. They had the opponent 70 for 5 and won by 1 run. There's something about KKR, they're not closing games.
Yeah.
From 60 for 5, you should win it, shouldn't you?
Fair point.
120
yes.
in the bank?
Yeah,
I mean,
60 for 5 in the power play.
Brevis played fantastic. He's a very, very good young player. But still 60 for 5 to 180. You know there's Dhoni and one other, and really nobody else.
Brevis played very well. He got a free over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the difference.
30 run over, 3
30
sixes,
run
3
overs.
fours.
Some of the poorest bowling that you could possibly see. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I was laughing only because Gilly, being the gentleman he is, was trying to use a strong word and being as polite as possible.
No, I was gonna tell Gilly, tell me how you really feel.
No, it was poor. He missed his mark, Aurora. That was pretty poor bowling. And Brevis was good enough to execute and hit sixes, but yeah, maybe the devil's advocate say he should have been out first ball that over.
Yeah.
Caught a deep long off.
Correct.
But the follow-up was not up to standard, and that's the difference in the end.
I can just explain, just put that in context, because at the halfway mark, Chennai was kind of halfway. They needed about 9.5 to win in the last 10 overs. But just on the back of that 1 over, it came down to a little over a run a ball, which then for Dubey and Brevis and then Dhoni to come was easy picking. But I'll come to Chennai's chase in just a moment. Harsha, can we just go back to KKR's batting first and we look at that innings progression? And when we look at that, we see that middle part, and we have to talk about that middle part because that's 9 overs of batting.
Yes.
With only 3 wickets down. Yes. You've gone 9 overs for just a touch over a run a ball.
Yeah,
and that in modern T20 cricket cannot be rewarded with a win.
And as we discovered as the match went along, the wicket wasn't as difficult to bat on as they probably would have thought when they composed their team. But that combination wasn't working. We talked about it in the mid-show as well. Rahane and Pandey.
Yeah.
Both of them are, when it comes to spin, they're not big hitters. At least Rahane from time to time would step out, hit over long off. But they're not destroyers of spin, both of them.
Yeah.
So they needed someone different from them to be batting at the same time.
And they had a few options.
They had
which is what is
yes.
surprising, right? That Gilly, they had, just to Harsha's point, destroyers of spin. I mean, I can name 3 straight away. I mean, you have Adam Gilchrist, a destroyer of spin and pace both. They have Andre Russell, who took on Ravindra Jadeja in 1 over. Moeen Ali, Rinku Singh.
Yeah.
They've got 3 proper internationals who could do that.
Yeah, that's definitely an error. And as we say, just match up a different partner to complement each other. One that, will allow, as you say, Rahane can knock the ones. He can get himself off strike and get the power player on. And probably with greater effect than maybe Manish Pandey, who hadn't been playing. Pandey ends up, a nice little contribution, but it still wasn't a match-changing contribution, which is possible from Rinku Singh or Russell or even Moeen Ali.
Tell me, when you're, say you're playing that similar tournament, you're a top order batter, you're captain, you're batting. The batting order isn't fixed before the first ball is bowled, right? It's a little flexible, especially from number 4 downwards.
Totally.
But you're batting out there. At the fall of every wicket, do you send a message saying, I want this person coming in, or does the coach decide who comes in?
I think, well, certainly as captain, and if you're out in the middle, you're contemplating different things. And if a partnership forms, you'll send a message.
Saying, I want so-and-so to come next.
Yeah. Or send a message back saying, have a discussion here on the bench, coach, vice captain, senior player, have a think about the options that we've got. And then, another over might go by and you get a bit of feedback or a timeout or whatever. So, yeah, definitely it's sort of policy on the run, so to speak, that you've got to be adaptable to.
Because I'm trying to understand the thinking behind, at that stage, sending Manish Pandey. I thought Manish Pandey was there just in case there was a storm. You suddenly lost 4 or 5 wickets and you needed someone to hold the innings for a few overs. So I thought Manish Pandey would play that role and bat only if needed. So I was a little taken aback when he came in as early as he did.
Yeah.
And it just comes back to the point. The thing is that with this loss, the Knight Riders don't have an E ahead of their name officially, but they do have a T ahead of their name, trouble. They're in proper trouble after this, right? Because it doesn't look like they're going to... I mean, they win the next 2 games, which anyway looks tough now because they've had a few losses now.
Yeah.
They can only get to 15 and there's already a traffic jam at the top.
Yeah, that's right. It's starting to get... it's congested at the top because they're all up on much more wins than anyone from 6 down. So it's almost an invisible E there for Kolkata, I think, just waiting to appear because that wasn't the performance. And I think your point's a good one. Their match against RR wasn't the performance of a team that's going to contest against the bigger name teams in this year's edition.
So if you go a little back, the Punjab game as well, not getting 111.
I was at the game and all of us are sitting and calculating what they need to do to go top of the table. They had to chase 115. They are 50 or 60 for 2. They needed something like 50 in 8 overs or 7 overs to go top of the table. And they lost by 16. So there have been so many instances. They lost another game, I think, by 8 or 10 runs. There's so many instances of so near yet so far. And as a result, you're right, there is no E next to their name. But if you're a realist and you follow this tournament for a while, then...
It's D. They're done.
You know it is. You know it is.
They've reached D already. E is going to come right after
next,
that. Right? It's done and then they go to E. They've got great players. There's obviously no... You don't argue about that. They've got great players. They've got a great roster. Is it just great instrument players, but the orchestra is just playing different music sheets? It just seems like they're completely out of tune.
I met this management consultant called Gaurav Kapur.
Yes.
Who used a very interesting expression about KKR.
Yes.
Optimization of resources.
There you go.
And I think precisely, I mean, we might make fun of it, but I think there were a lot of resources that went largely untapped this year.
Yeah.
Rinku Singh, largely untapped this year, didn't have a great season. Ramandeep, completely untapped. Russell, largely untapped. Moeen, largely untapped. So they had a lot of resources that went untapped this year. And I think you just have to look at what GT is doing. I think they just packed so many batters into that side. Today, they would have given anything to have a bowler bowling instead of Vaibhav Arora. Look, he's not a bad bowler, but he's having a terrible day
Just
today.
a bad day, yes.
A team like GT goes in with 6 or 7 bowling options every time because they don't think they need 8 or 9 batting options.
Yeah.
Which is contrary to what most people think. Most people want to go boom, boom, boom and have batting till 8. But I think this team would be better served having a batter less and a bowler more.
Yep. Why is it what Harsha is saying does seem counterintuitive, right? Where you're saying that, if you have, or rather the reality seeming counterintuitive, what he's saying is that you fill it with 9 batters because you want to go bang, bang. But none of the 9 batter teams, they've done it, I think, 2 or 3 games now, have gone bang, bang.
If you're playing 8 batters, then you don't have the middle muddle.
Yeah.
You keep going. A bit like Punjab have played at the early part of this year. A bit like Bangalore are playing this year. You just keep going because that's the reason you play eight or nine batters.
Yep.
If you've got 9 batters, you don't need to knock it around for ones and twos in the middle.
Exactly my point. Like even at that point when that was happening, and we'll have to analyze this because I know that there's enough Knight Riders fans who are just perplexed, they're heartbroken, they're disappointed. Is that I don't understand why half the innings is played at a run a ball when there's so much firepower in the shed.
Yeah, only they can answer that. Maybe they weren't certain against the bowling that they were facing. Maybe there's a bit of credit to that, Noor and the variations that he and Jadeja initially. Russell got a hold of him in that last over, but up to that, his first 2 overs were good. So I guess we've got to pay some credit to the bowling that they were facing.
For sure, yes.
But, yeah, again, I think it goes back to the very first point about that we made, that you don't match up to almost identical types of players through that crucial period when you've got so much artillery. Some teams, just have to roll out the players that they have. They don't have the options of that, 6, 7 and 8 sitting in the sheds.
Yeah.
it's a bit confusing.
And then even when that happens, like for example, Bangalore's example comes to mind. Bangalore's had Jitesh, Livingston. They've had not getting runs in the middle, Patidar maybe as well. They're not wasting time. It's like, boom, they're gone. Let's get Tim David in. Let's get Romari Shepherd in. 2 wickets fall. Let's get Krunal Pandya up, right? So they figured it out. It's like, all right, if it's not getting done, there's enough people.
Yeah.
Just
different players have won them a game in RCB. Tim David, I think, had a big influence on one game. Romario on one, Krunal Pandya on one as a batter. So different. Rajat Patidar was player of the match in one batter.
Yeah,
so
early
if
on.
you look at the top 7, 8, 5 or 6 different batters have won player of the match for their batting.
Yeah.
So there's different people contributing. It means at any given time, almost all of them are in form.
And
you pick 8 batters, you're not going to have all 8 in form.
And how many player of the matches has Virat won this year?
Yeah, it's 2, I reckon.
Is it that many?
1 or 2.
I was wondering. I wouldn't have been surprised
If there was none.
if there was none. But look at the year he's having.
Yeah.
Amazing. He's had the orange cap at various times. So that foundation that he's laying is then allowing those injections of guys, and he's ticking it out. His strike rate's been up this year. I know we're moving off this game, talking about RCB, but he's proactive enough, even through middle overs, to then have another more powerful striker come in and just have a little impact. Even if they get in, get out, just keep sending them out there to keep going, where he's playing that really nice
They had
anchor role at a positive enough rate.
that 170 kind of chases, 164, 170, 175 chases, perfect for
that style.
absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
He's not going to get out.
No.
He's not going to dawdle and get it to 10 and over for 175.
No.
But you know that till Virat is there, the game is open, and he'll get you a 65 not out, 70 not out, and he's winning those games. But he's reinvented himself over the last couple of years. If you see his strike rate progression last couple of years, he's reinvented himself. Who's that person who's controlling it for KKR, but also providing the substance?
That's my exact point.
Yeah.
That's
we are talking about the Knight Riders were not in a hurry in those middle overs. Chennai seemed to be in too much of a hurry, right, for their players to just keep moving because they were 5 down in the power play. Now, that doesn't happen very often. And 5 down on the power play, almost, they say there's a stat that if you're 3 down on the power play, you don't win the game. They were 5 down on the power play and they still won, and I'll tell you why. The 180 target comes into play a lot over here, right? Because Urvil Patel gets an 11 ball 31 and gives them the impetus. So they're 5 wickets down, but they still manage to get 62 in the power play.
There's another name there, 19 of 10.
Ravindra Jadeja?
So you add those two, they got 50 and 21 balls.
Yep.
50 and 21 balls in the power play. Wow.
Yeah.
And because of the 50 and 21 balls, Shivam Dubey is able to play what turns out to be a match-winning innings
almost
of 45 or 40.
Actually, almost what you're saying about Virat holding in that 180 chase, right? So here it's come from a later batter, but that's the business model. Because Shivam Dubey is there and he's holding one end up, Devol Brevis can do. I mean, he's also got the gifts, but he has to put those gifts away. So he's managed to do that.
But Dubey can do that because it's a run chase. Dubey can't do that in the first innings.
No, fair enough.
Dubey can do that in a run chase.
Yeah, he can do that in a run chase, but he can also do it in a run chase that's only 180.
Correct.
Right? Because the run chase is just at 150 strike rate, you know that we can hold one end up. They get one good over, and it becomes a runner ball for pretty much the last 9 overs.
Yep.
Right? So that's what happened. It's very interesting when you break that pattern. Effectively, their overs 12 to 20 become what overs 7 to 15 were for the Knight Riders. Only they were chasing, so they knew what the target is. But this all happened because Devol Brevis did what he did, and that's why he's our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas. Shor Kam Kam Zada. He's got 52 runs in 25 balls, 4 4s and 4 6s, out of which Gilly, 3 4s and 3 6s have come in 1 over.
1 over.
The 11th over bowled by Vaibhav Arora.
Yeah. It was good striking. And he's proven his worth coming in as that replacement player, to the point where they're saying, we'll have him. And he's showing that next year he'll be in that lineup, starting lineup.
Got to be.
Polly made a very interesting point when he was here. He said he got a lot of attention when he was 18, 19 years old. And so the expectations rose and everyone thought, wow. He said, but he needed those 2 or 3 years to become the player that he is now. And now he's becoming the player that everyone thought he would be at 18.
Yeah.
At 21, he's a player that you thought he'd be 18. I think he's ready. He's going to be with CSK for a while.
Yeah, also being just so cool and calm. You're playing at the Eden Gardens. The noise is off the charts. There's just a lot of pressure. Your team has not won anything before that. You're 5 wickets down. Your back is literally against the wall.
Yep. Yeah, and you're right about, he's a cool, calm head. I mean, look at his fielding.
Yeah.
Catching is as good as anyone in this tournament. He's taken some wonderful catches. And I like, he doesn't have a lot of carry-on in his demeanour and way on. He looks like he's got a strong work ethic. He does, all the professional training routines and regimes to get himself the best chance to perform, and then goes out and performs and doesn't have a lot of carry-on and fanfare. Just gets in and does it. And I think his confidence will grow out of this. I think we'll watch over the next few years, be it IPL cricket or international cricket, that the fingerprints are going to be on some pretty good times in the teams that he's playing in.
He's definitely in your team next year, right? And an integral member of the team next year.
He's my controller of the middle order. I did a pre-game interview with him one of these days. Said, where do you like to bat? Because I think he's been used as an opener in the past as well. And he said, no, I've understood my game. I'm happiest playing in that sort of middle to finish role at about 4-5. I'm happiest playing over there now. And I think that's such a key role for them. They need that 4-5 player. 100% he's locked in for the next 2 years.
Yeah, he should change his name to Devolt Brevis, because he's been Devolt. He's like, he's very bankable, and he was very cool today. And he changed the game with just that 1 over and made the chase come into Chennai's quarter. So he's our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas. Shor Kam Kam Zada was Devolt Brevis, 52 runs off 25 balls. Well, the thing is that the Knight Riders must have thought in the first half of the game, or definitely in the power play, that the game was theirs, because their bowlers, even though they went for runs, they got the wickets. And at the end of the day, all the captains tell you that we don't care if our bowlers go for a few runs as long as they're picking up wickets, because the scoreboard pressure comes when the wickets are picked up. They did get the wickets. There was, in the power play, Moeen Ali came and bowled. He got a wicket. Harshit Rana got 2. Varun Chakravarti got 2. Vaibhav Arora got 3, despite that 1 over going for 30. So you look at this bowling, and you actually go, one sec, what happened? Was it just that 1 over
2
that changed the game?
There was 1 Urvil Patel over. So you add the about 20 odd, they got 17 in that and 30.
That was Urvil Patel of
Moeen Ali.
Moeen Ali, which at the time we commented, I know Moeen Ali ended up with a wicket off the last ball, the wicket of Conway, but it was, not sure it was the right matchup against
the right-hander.
I mean, Urvil Patel, the off-spinner.
Yes, yeah. But Moeen Ali just bowling offies without any mystery or anything. It just got into his hitting zone, and he cashed in on it. So that proved probably costly as well.
See what happens. 47 of 12 balls.
Yeah.
30 and 17. 47 of 12. You're chasing 180. You now need 133 of 108 balls.
Yeah, that's it.
So you need a couple of 10, 12 run overs and that's it.
Yeah.
So.
That was the game. We were talking about, at the halfway stage, I remember, Harsha, you and I on the Combox were talking about the fact that they'd done half the job, right? They'd got about 90 odd and they needed 90 odd with half the team gone and everything. And
I remember I said in that Combox, in the next 5 overs, even if they get about 35, 40, they're still absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd get all of those in the first over.
In the very next one.
and just made everything after that so easy.
Yeah.
What could the Knight Riders bowlers have done differently today? Because I know that you were not impressed with the execution of quite a few bowlers today.
I thought Aurora's over was one. That option of the second over, the power play, was another. Other than that, they weren't too bad. I think just a couple of slower balls at the back end to Dubé. Credit to him, he was patient and just waited and waited. And then as soon as there was those 2 slower balls, I think it's Harsha Bhogle's ones where he bowls that sort of big off spin and it loops down, and it just sort of comes down right into that hitting length. Dubé doesn't get overexcited by it. He sort of holds his shape and hits it well. So minor execution moments let them down other than the big over.
Yeah, they're primarily a 5-bowler setup. They use Russell as and when needed.
Yeah.
In that 5-over setup, I'm a little worried about Harshit Rana. When we saw him last year, he had a pretty good head of steam. He used to come running in, bowl a heavy ball, hit it hard. This year, he's only bowling, he's primarily bowling pace-off deliveries. And if you look even today, where are we on the scorecard? Harshit Rana today, 4 overs 43.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if his economy rate over the season is above 9. And for a person who's in this season become an India player, he's an uncapped player, but he's played Test. He's played all 3 forms of the game for India.
Yeah.
I think his form is very worrisome for KKR.
It was trouble pretty much for them, for all their bowlers today because, maybe just not enough runs on the board and Chennai has done well. Chennai has got the 2 points, put their points table up again. Give some happiness to Chennai fans, come on, because it's been rare. They've only got 3 victories out of 12. Geez, I mean, you don't remember when they had such a dismal season, but there they are. They've got their 3rd victory today, so they're at 6 points. Remember, they have very clearly said, even as soon as they got eliminated, they very clearly said that our blueprint now for the rest of the tournament is just to basically get the team ready for season 2026. And I have to say that in the last 2 games, that plan's going well.
They're learning a lot, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's that exploratory mission is accomplishing a number of things to tick off and to start that rebuild. I think it's. I like the fact that they came out and just said it straight up. Well, it's all about next year, and so they're giving those opportunities. They made those changes to their 11 today. Did we find out about Curran? Was there any reason?
No, nothing. I think
just opening up a slot.
I think just
for someone
opportunities.
Else.
Yeah, just to give.
Because he's going to be there next year, so why not test the water on a few?
Yeah.
So, no, I like that. And the other incentive they've got too, I would assume they've never finished bottom, have they?
Chennai?
Yeah.
I think they might have in 22.
Chennai finished.
22, I think.
I don't think.
Mumbai's
finished 10th
and then they came
twice.
back.
Them and
Won
Mumbai.
it.
So they would have been 9th.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't think they've
So
finished.
Mumbai's finished twice
Yeah.
in the last 3 years.
Well, whether they have or haven't, there's
9th and
incentive
10th,
to get off the bottom of the table. So that win puts them now equal points and.
Sunrisers.
So they can, just try and add a little bit of incentive within the team unit. Say, okay, let's climb our way off the bottom and not be tagged with that one for this year.
Let's see what they found for next year. They found young Matre.
Yep.
They found young Urvil Patel, young Defal Brevis, young Patirana, young Dhoni.
Young Noor.
Young Noor. Young Noor has been a find.
Young Noor's on 20, right? He started this game with 16 wickets, so he's on 20 wickets now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Quietly picked up 4.
games.
You look back at
Prasid's
this
at 20,
game.
so...
Yeah, you look back at this game. Do you think Noor got 4 wickets? You look back. Oops, he got 4, did he?
Yeah.
4 for 30? for 30 odd. Excellent.
So he and Prasidh are both on 20 wickets now, so joint highest. But I think the orange cap will stay with him because he's got a better average. And he's also played one lesser game, actually, sorry. Prasidh's played 11 and Noor's played his 12 today. So purple will stay with Prasidh. But well done, Noor. Also ex-Gujarat bowler.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's where they found him. It was Ashish Kapoor who found him, I think, in one of the junior tournaments that Ashish Kapoor was coach of India and saw him in the Afghanistan squad.
You know, it's like, say you go to Saudi Arabia and you dig and you get oil, right? You dig anywhere and you get oil. Similarly, just go to Afghanistan and just put a bait out and pick up 3 wrist spinners and come back. I'll never forget the story Rashid Khan told me. He told me the story 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I might have told it here. Of how one of his friends was running a camp and he said, Rashid, you must come to encourage the young bowlers in the camp. He said, I've got 250 bowlers in the camp. So Rashid thought, yeah, some fast bowlers, some spinners. 250, all of them wrist spinners. 250 wrist spinners.
That is very one-dimensional, but not surprising at all that would happen.
Right, Afghanistan. Another Afghanistan player has come in as a replacement for Delhi. Sadiqullah Atal has come in as a replacement for Harry Brooks. So there's a huge
Is he a wrist
Afghanistan.
spinner as well? No, he's a batter.
No, he's a batter. He's a top order batter.
Is he a wristy batter at least?
might
At least a wristy batter? The wrists
Might
need to be
be.
involved somewhere, don't they? All right, well, the wrists also tell you the pulse, but the pulse for both these teams, no, for one is no pulse at all. And with the other, it's very faint. It's very faint. That's Kolkata. But anyway, we'll look at the game tomorrow because both of these pulsating. Pulsing.
Yeah.
Punjab and Delhi. Delhi, well, it's been slow for them, Gilly. The last few games, they started off with a bang.
Yeah.
But the last few games have been a bit of a whimper.
What are they, 2 in their last 5? Is that
Something like that.
thereabouts?
Yeah.
One in their last 5.
1 in their
They
last
have
5.
1-1.
Yeah.
Well, one was a washout.
Oh, of course.
But yeah.
But the washout was not a game they would have won.
They were in trouble, weren't they?
They were in big trouble.
Yeah, that's the. And it's getting critical for them too.
Yeah.
If they don't fall completely away, but again,
Points table.
They had that foundation of the beginning of the tournament. Just buys them that bit more time now than say the Knight Riders.
Yeah.
But that'll be tough up there against Punjab. I think.
Now I'm just saying, if they can win this tomorrow,
Yeah.
right, then they get tied with Punjab, and that means they push Mumbai out of the top 4. Mumbai was 1 minute away yesterday from being top of the table.
Literally 1 minute away.
60 seconds.
Well, they were one strong shower away from being out of the match. And then they were one tiny little shower extension away from actually winning. It was a strange match. But I'm looking at that, and I think it's a game for Delhi, pretty much like it was a game for KKR today. They're slightly better placed, but if you look at the table, they're on 13.
Yeah.
So if they win, and you look at the upside of Delhi winning, they go to 15 of 12. Punjab are 15 of 12. You've got a nice top order muddle there. Mumbai
Nice.
14 of 12.
But if
But if
Punjab
Delhi
wins,
Punjab wins.
Yeah.
they go top of the table.
They do, and I think you can have a little invisible queue next to them. I'm fairly certain. I know there's lots that can happen.
Yes.
But I think if they get to 17, pretty much they can have that little queue next to them.
And if Delhi loses, you put a D ahead of their name. Done.
Not yet, but
Done
in trouble.
for.
Not yet, because now they'll be 13 of 12
Yeah.
with 2 games to go. Their game against Mumbai Indians, which is the last game for both of them,
that becomes
could become a knockout game in Mumbai. But if they lose this, it'll mean they've lost, 1.5 out of 6.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to come back from there at this stage. Who's the person who's saying in the change room, come follow me, I'm going to win you the game?
Yeah, it's again, the thing is that this was this beautiful orchestra was playing a great tune.
Yeah.
And it's just gone off a little bit. The violin's going a little earlier. The cymbal is coming a little late, right? Something's just gone off tune.
You're going to tell me KP was the conductor there too, aren't you? And then he went to
Can't be conducting from the Maldives.
yeah, it's the opening position. They've tinkered with that probably a bit too much.
Let's bring the squad out. Who are your ideal 2 openers there?
Yeah, well,
Talk to me.
Karan Noor went up the top, didn't he?
Yes.
And they put
Yes.
Perel down into number
three.
2, and
Yep.
that
So
was
between-
disastrous. He got a first baller off Pat Cummins. So
Faf has tapered off. He started the season
Yeah.
really well. Then that injury, I don't think he's fully recovered from that injury yet.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you give Fraser McGurk another chance? Or do you think they're done with him for the season?
Well, there's nothing to lose. You might as well.
Okay, so let's say out of Karun Nair, Abhishek Porel, who opens for you?
That big score that Karun Nair got when he almost won them the game against Mumbai came at 3, but he was not going to bat at 3 if a wicket hadn't been lost that early. But I think you still want to go with Karun Nair's form. I think you want to take a call on Faf.
Okay, so you're saying Faf
But
/
Porel-
GFM?
Yeah, but look, Porel, he's not gone and got a big 70-80 this year.
Yeah.
So he gets these 20s, 30s, whatever. So I think his position might be a little under stress, especially if KL Rahul's keeping wickets.
Correct.
So KL comes in at 4.
Yep. Akshar at 5.
Akshar
Tristan
at
Stubbs
5.
at 6.
Stubbs has probably been their best player.
They're sorted
maybe
there.
push him.
Ashutosh at 7. Vipraj. So the rest of the team is sorted.
So
I think
the
just
lower
their
middle
top
is a
three.
lot better.
Yeah.
Low middle is having a lot of heavy lifting.
What's their top
So you're
3?
going with Fraser McGurk, eh?
I don't know, to be honest. I think, look, Gilly, you've been in the setup. You look at players in the nets and you just get an idea, gee, I think he's hitting the ball well. So we don't know from a distance if he's hitting the ball well or they've said goodbye to him for the season and they're looking at saving the money next year.
Yeah, right, okay.
I don't know
Okay.
how he's hitting the ball.
Tough one. It's a tough one there. 1, 2, 3. They have to take a call tomorrow. Let's look at Punjab and see what they have. They've got no confusion with 1, 2, 3. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
No confusion at all with Prabh Simran, Priyansh, and Shreyas Iyer. All 3 of them have
And
contributed.
yet they moved Josh Inglis to 3 last time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there was a short pitch bowler bowling and they thought the Aussie
Correct.
would take on the short pitch bowler.
And he did. He
As
dealt
Brad
with
Hodge once told me, I'm the Aussie in the team. It's my job to take on the short bowling.
Yeah.
So
And
Inglis went in. Yeah.
Though, I mean, the thing is that Shreyas is that the Shreyas who had a problem with short pitch bowling
It's different.
is also many years ago, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have that problem. But yeah, I mean, if Shreyas comes and bats at 3, he kind of, which he's done most of the season, he's kind of the centrifugal force almost, right, of this lineup.
You're rolling out some words tonight, mate.
I am,
but
some
like
big
that.
ones,
Yeah, I think, well, they may keep Inglis at 3 on that track was as Australian-like as you'll get probably around this country, and they may have the same structure, but Shreyas has been good. He went a little bit quiet in the middle of the tournament, didn't he, after a really nice start, but I've liked his composure, his leadership, his body language. I've been really impressed with that.
When he gets in, he gets a big score.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of 70s. I think he's definitely got one
He's at
70 plus score.
405 runs in, so it's a 400 plus season already with 3 games to go,
It's a
and
decent
perhaps
season.
more.
The moment you cross 500, you had a really good season. 400 is a decent season, especially if it comes at a good strike rate.
Yeah, the highest is 510, so he's, it's not
He's
like
one
he's-
good innings away from being in the mix for the cap. So.
Yeah, wow.
So their problem is a little different. Their top 3, 4 are doing very well, but they're stacked the middle with big hitters like Maxwell and Stoinis and Umarzai and Shashank.
Nehal Vadera.
And Nehal Vadera. They're not getting the consistency from there to power them on to big scores.
Okay, so who's your middle order then
Consistency.
for Punjab? You've got your top 4 with English and Shreyas in there with the openers.
Yeah. I'd like to see them use Stoinis a little better. Last game he got 15 or 5, I think.
All right, so
he's got a
Stoinis is
31.
5?
He's got a 31 of 11, 12 in the
Yeah.
past. So I'd like to
Against
see them
Hyderabad.
use Stoinis a little bit more.
He came in at 7, didn't he?
Yeah, he came in right at the end. They're using him there
I
now.
thought that he could have gone in 1 earlier, at least, in that last match.
So him 5, Vadera 6, Shashank 7.
Marco Jansen 8.
Now, I'll tell you where does Umarzai bat? 4 for Afghanistan. And he gets scores from number 4. So I think much like Ramandeep and the others, he's being used only as a bowler. His batting is getting lost.
Okay.
But in this case, unlike KKR, they're getting the runs quickly, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Player to watch out for you. Let's start with Punjab since it's in Dharamshala.
Punjab? I think Inglis again.
English. So
He's had a little taste there. What, he got 30 off 15 or 16?
Yeah.
He enjoyed the conditions there. I think he'll be ready to go again.
Interestingly, he was picked because he plays spin well.
And
And he's gone and taken on the pace. I like Prabh Simran. I like the fact that Prabh Simran and Priyansh have got different roles now. Priyansh goes hard. Prabh Simran just hangs in there. But when he gets in, he gets a 90. I think he said,
was good.
Ricky Ponting said to the openers, one of you give me 100.
yeah.
And he almost got the 100. He got a 90, I think.
Correct,
Last
yes.
game. So I like Prabh Simran very much.
I'll go with the captain, Shreyas Iyer. Okay.
Cool.
For Delhi.
But I'm sitting in this chair, so maybe Prabh Simran is not playing tomorrow.
Yeah, that happens. I tell you what happens with that chair. I ask the question to that chair, which is player to watch out for. and the answer comes, it becomes the player who will be out watching. It's happened like 4 times this
It's happened to Joy, it happened to Polly.
Yeah, it's happened a few times.
I've sat in that chair a fair bit this trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Have I
happened to
named
you.
anyone?
That's not happened to you yet. You haven't jinxed anybody.
Okay.
Delhi?
Delhi. We'll go Stubbs. I'm going to go.
Okay.
I think they rise and fall with Akshar.
Excellent. All right.
Rise and fall.
Then-
Also, the left-hander comes in the middle. He's batting really well. If Akshar's not playing that contribution in the middle, you see in the first 4 games that they did well, I think there was a lot of Akshar and Stubbs in there as well. Afaf got them off to a little start. So I think Akshar is my key player in the middle there.
I'm going to choose Kuldeep. So I think Kuldeep might be.
Thought of him, but I just up there in those conditions.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Excellent. All right. A joy factor question. And the answer, bring it up. Let's see it. Which cricketer has scored centuries in the Indian T20 League in 2 consecutive years while playing out a maiden in each of the matches?
You wanted Gale, right? You went Gale, didn't you?
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking Shane Watson, actually, but I don't know. Probably more likely to be Gale.
I think it's Shane Watson.
Yeah?
Let's see. I don't know. Oh, it is Gale. Yes.
Chris Gale.
It's Gale. He was
As you know, Chris Gale, you might have said it.
That's what I said, that he plays the first 6-7 deliveries as if he's...
I think I played in that one in 2011.
Did you? Yeah?
That was against us, yeah.
Yeah,
8, 9, 10, Punjab. You're in Punjab, weren't you?
Yeah,
Punjab,
Ryan Harris that said, didn't it? Yeah.
Wow. So there you go. That was Chris Gale. And who got it right besides me?
Send your entry in.
Nani Reddy.
Nani Reddy. Congratulations, Nani Reddy. You are the winner. Well done. We'll have a look at our guessing game because... okay.
Right. Oh,
Harsha Bhogle.
That's the best part of the day now.
Oh, bullseye.
You know, the thing is, the problem is that every time I start with bull, I just have to be extra careful where I'm going.
Focus.
Because I'm just like, focus extra hard because you said once my mistake live on air and it will just stay on the internet forever. Right. And I respect you too much for it to be in there forever. Bull's eye, Bhogle. Let's have a look where he is. Come on. What?
Oh, he's...
I'm only... that tells you the poverty of all that came before. Even the bullseye, you're right at the bottom.
God,
but
yeah.
Michael is such a good man and long may his choices remain exactly as they are.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's not here, so he's just
He's doing well not being here.
not moving. Let's have a look at that table again because I just want to see what's happening with Mr. Gilchrist up at
I'm on
the
slide.
top.
3 days ago, I was up the top.
Wow.
Oh, you're on the left. I was searching for you on the right. I searched in my cohort, right?
I was at the top.
Yeah.
I searched for people around me.
Man, I just needed one to be there and thereabouts
Yeah.
today to just... Yeah, well...
We'll get him tomorrow.
What have people done with Karthik's photograph?
He likes this photo. So.
Does he? Okay,
Yeah.
good on him.
I mean, he has to because nobody else likes it, so he's just going to go, yeah, I like it.
He took a photo of the photo last night when he saw himself up there. Yeah, he got his camera out and he...
That is now his screensaver. It is. All right, well, that's all we have time for. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. You're going to be here tomorrow? Mm-hmm. You're going to be here tomorrow? Mm-hmm. You're going to be here tomorrow? Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. You're going to be here tomorrow? Of course. All of us are going to be here. You're going to be here as well. We're going to see you at 7 p.m. India Standard Time, so do join us then. I'd like to thank Mr. Adam Gilchrist for joining us today. Yay! And I'd like to thank,
Just
with a big round of applause, Mr. Bullseye Bhogle. Just come on. Don't even pretend to be shy about it. You're enjoying it so. You're beaming. I just
I'll
want to
tell you
tell
what I'm worried about.
I just want to tell you, there are 7 lights in our studio. There's only 2 on right now because the rest of the lighting is coming from his face. Yes.
Because in spite of a bullseye and all that, I'm where I am. So that just tells me, I was like, a batter goes in at number 9 and smashes 80 of 20 balls one day. It's never going to happen again.
You've got the wrong analogy. It's like you've already been eliminated, but you got 2 points today. So you, like the Yellow Army, must celebrate.
What happened?
The
You were
win.
so polite all day.
One sec. It's past 12 almost, so it's a new day now. Well, we're going to see you tomorrow. All this will continue, and with or without you. So you don't want it to be without you. It's going to be your loss. So join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Have you ever heard anyone saying, join us tomorrow, it's your loss? That's the arrogance of our show.
Nice song.
Thank you for watching Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. I wish you good night. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Voltas Express Rayagati Station, Netaji Bhavan.